In our devotional reading today, there is a passage that talks about a great war. I sometimes call it Ezekiel's war. We don't know whether this great war will take place before the rapture or just after the rapture. But we know it will be a war that everybody in the world will recognize what's going on. The war will take place when Israel is at peace. Ezekiel 38, verse 7 and 9, get ready, be prepared, keep all the armies around you mobilized and take command of them. A long time from now, you will be called into action. In the distant future, you will swoop down on the land of Israel, which will be enjoying peace after recovering from war, and after its people have returned from many lands to the mountains of Israel. You and all your allies, a vast, awesome army, will roll down on them like a storm to cover the land like a cloud. Now, either this will take place prior to the rapture or just after the rapture, at the very beginning of the tribulation period, maybe the first initial weeks even of the Great Tribulation. But it will happen. And it is a war that is going to occur when Israel is at peace. All of a sudden, there's no more conflict. All of her neighbors are at peace with her. And then Russia, which is Gog and Magog, joined by Gomer, Ezekiel 38, verse 2 and Ezekiel 38, verse 6. This is basically dealing with Russia and Eastern Europe. They'll be joined, Ezekiel 38, verse 5, by Turkey, Ethiopia, and Libya. Those nations will join, so it'll be interesting to see how Libya and Turkey line up with Russia in the days ahead. And these nations will just flock together to wipe out Israel. The motivation of their attack, Ezekiel 38, verse 11 and 12, says that they feel that Israel is unprotected. They feel that they're unprotected land filled with unwalled villages. The people are living with such confidence, and they will attack. So they will attack because they think it'll be an easy win. They will attack because of their jealousy. Ezekiel 38, verse 12 says, I'll capture vast amounts of plunder, for the people are rich with livestock and other possessions now, and these Jews think the whole world revolves around them. So they think it'll be an easy win. They look at the wealth. They look at the confidence and arrogance and pride of the people of Israel. And, others will tell them not to do it. I mean, Ezekiel 38, verse 13, Sheba and Dedan, which would be like southern Ethiopia, northern Saudi, Lebanon, these nations will say, please don't do this. But they're going to do it anyway. And when they do it, it is going to bring one of the greatest cataclysmic responses of God that this world has ever seen. Ezekiel 38, 19 and 20 says that God's going to send earthquakes. Ezekiel 38, 22 says God's going to send storms of hail and torrential rain. Ezekiel 38, 22 says burning sulfur. It'll be similar to Sodom and Gomorrah with burning sulfur coming down from the skies, meteors actually falling down upon targeting this army. And in the end, this entire army of Russia, Eastern Europe, Turkey, Libya, parts of Ethiopia, this entire army will be completely annihilated. And they'll build a vast graveyard for these people. Ezekiel 39, verses 11 to 13 tells us that this graveyard will be east of the Dead Sea. So an area of what we call Jordan today. And that whole section, it'll be a valley that's there. That valley is already there. That whole valley there will become a vast graveyard. A vast graveyard. Now, when you put that together later with the last chapter of Ezekiel, and you see the river that's going to flow out from under the temple and make the Dead Sea live again, you realized, God's going to wash all that death away one day also and bring life to where there's nothing but death. But this is a battle that is going to take place. So it's fascinating to me to watch political alliances line up here in the end of days. When I was a young boy, I could never understand how the armies of Africa would join with the armies of China to attack the armies of Western Europe, which would be the Antichrist army in the Battle of Armageddon. But now, I've lived long enough to see. They can push a button and dry up the Euphrates River by a big dam. China will be joined by Africa because they're doing so much business. They're buying up large sections of Africa. And you see how Russia is getting closer and closer to Libya and Syria and Turkey. You see how Iran has joined so closely with Russia now, militarily. You look at all of this and you go, you know what? These are the end of days. No wonder Peter teaches us to be disciplined in our life of prayer, seeing that we live in these end of days.